Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Just Everyday People. I'm your host, Laolu, Jesusbaby. It's so good to see you guys again. Thank you for tuning in. So today I'll be speaking to my friend Priscille, and we're just gonna have another great discussion, really speaking about purpose. And she has a unique take on how she feels that man without God cannot fulfill purpose. Please stay tuned and enjoy the video. Well, yeah, welcome to the show. Thank you again for coming. Honestly, we really appreciate you. So you are currently based in Germany. We met in Wolverhampton. Maybe if it's okay with you, you could give us like a brief history of, I guess maybe where you're coming from, and I guess where you are today.
Well, welcome everyone to my dear friend's show. My name is Priscille Polla, and I am an ex-student of the University of Wolverhampton, and I study biomedical science.
Yep.
But presently, I am based in Germany, and I am doing my master's in biomedical engineering. So yeah, so I left the science part, and now I am working on all the technical part of hospital equipment. So yeah, that's where I am presently.
Awesome. Thank you. You're also Cameroonian, right?
Yeah, from Cameroonian, from the western region, Bamileke, and my Bamileke name is Shungo. Should know. Yeah.
Should know.
Yeah.
Lovely. You're also a business owner, right?
Yes, I am a business owner
Yes, you are.
trying to grow a beauty business. Yeah.
Okay. And you also have a YouTube page.
Yeah, I have a YouTube page.
Yes.
Priscille Polla. As
Pris-
simple as it is.
Priscille Polla. Priscille Polla. Awesome. So you have your hands in a lot of things. It's not just
Pardon?
you have your hands in a lot of things. It's not just academic. You also have a business as well. You also have like an online presence as well. Is that fair
Yeah.
to say? Okay. So if we were to just head right into it, um, what would you define as purpose?
Um, I would say my definition of purpose is quite very simple. Is the reason why you were born, the reason why you're on earth, basically. I mean, that's just what purpose is.
Okay.
Why were you created by God? Yeah.
Okay. Why you were created by God, and if I may, be so forward, do you know your purpose?
Um, that's a difficult question,
Okay.
and it's kind of it's. Do I know my purpose? I would say I am not perfectly sure of my purpose, but I know I am growing in it
Okay.
because I also believe that although each of us is born with a purpose,
Okay.
every situation in life brings us closer to that purpose we're actually called to fulfill before our end day. So, so far, I believe that I know part of what my purpose is.
Okay. Would you like to share?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind sharing.
Please.
So, I believe my purpose is to bring out women's value and make people a better version of themselves than their moment, like
That they
making
currently
them
are.
better than what they were before they met me.
Wow. That's amazing. And specifically around women.
It could be around everybody, but yeah, specifically around women.
Oh wow. Okay. Amazing. That's interesting. I love that. Okay. So do you feel like if you're looking back, do you feel like there may be instances in your life when you were growing up that you were heading towards that path? Because you're like I said, you're also in academia as well. You're also doing the YouTube as well as the
Yeah.
business. So it's like, how do you think like your life kind of lined up to you, finding your purpose?
Well, I can't ignore the fact that the way I have grown up or the way I met people or the way I separated people. kind of directed me towards the line. And that's why I say you might get to the point where you don't know your purpose, but every single situation that happens in your life kind of push you towards that direction.
Okay.
And it's all left to you to kind of pray and just ask God to keep guiding you.
Okay.
Because, yeah, I would say everything has gotten involved in it, whether it's family, friends, people I met on the road, even people I just met for one day, like, or even just a simple sentence from somebody or a constant reminder of what I try to pay attention to what people say about me or the kind of comments people say, yeah, kind of redirect me.
Okay.
And it kind of peace of mind of whatever I hear, kind of how can I say? Because sometimes you hear about certain things and you're just annoyed about it.
Mm-hmm.
But when you kind of have a peace of mind about certain things,
Okay.
I feel like,
Okay.
yeah, that's like a kind of a sign.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So when you were younger, did you feel like you wanted to help women be the best versions of themselves? Or did you always want to
Um,
be a scientist? Did you always want to be a businesswoman? Do you understand?
yeah.
Okay.
When I was little,
Hmm.
my dream was to become a doctor.
Nice. Okay.
And I just loved animals, like
Okay.
pets. I would just cry for cats on the road or dogs on the road.
You'll be
It
crying.
might sound crazy, like being a Cameroonian kid and just walking in her mom's car, and then you see an abandoned dog somewhere and just crying for that dog and just try like just having this eager to just wanting to help that animal. So
Okay.
it kind of
Okay.
started with pets, if I can
Okay.
put it that way.
Okay.
But well, yeah, I just always had this
Empathy. Empathy.
this feeling of wanting to help.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So you always wanted to be a doctor, and then um, was that kind of how do I put it? Was that like encouraged by the people around you, or did they like have a different plan for your life, or did someone else say, I think you should maybe do acting or something? Because the thing about Priscilla is you have a big personality. When you step into a room, the whole world knows you're in that room, which is amazing. Which is honestly, it's a good thing. I mean, I think you were mentioning earlier that when you've spoken to a lot of people and you have had a lot of reinforcement as to what you're doing. But yes, so when you were younger, like, did you always want to be that, and was everyone around you encouraging you, or were there like other voices?
Um, I would say the good side about my parents is that they have never ever forced anybody to do like to force them into a certain profession.
Okay. Okay.
Because my dad is more like, I don't want to say something after tomorrow it doesn't work. You say it was my fault.
Okay.
So
Okay. Okay.
so he was like, whatever you decide to do in life, he will just encourage you, whatever your passion is, whether you want to be I don't know, a business person or whatever. And among my seven siblings, I am the only one doing sciences. All the rest are all business inclined.
Wow.
So yeah, I wouldn't say I was kind of influenced by my parents or by my. It's just something I had
You've always
loved.
wanted to do.
Yeah, I
Oh,
just
okay.
wanted to do because I just like. It might sound weird, but I just some people don't like the odor of hospital and family and
Mm.
pharmacy. Abi,
Mm-hmm.
me I like it though. I don't know. I don't know if it's
I don't know how that
hereditary.
is something you can like, because I mean, it just smells like it has a unique
It
smell,
just
to be
smells
honest.
clean. It just smells. I just like that. So maybe that was what drove me towards that direction.
Wow.
But yeah,
Okay.
I wasn't forced by anybody.
Okay. So,
Mm.
I mean, you're a biomedical scientist going into biomedical engineering. You're not yet a doctor. Is that still something you're going for?
Um, wow, that's a good question. I don't know. Now, to be honest, I am more thinking of doing business. So
Ah, okay. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Ah,
I
nice.
am more thinking of doing business. Maybe tomorrow, being a doctor, because I don't know. Maybe it's just I don't know. maybe I've grown out of it because um, you could help people like in different ways, right? And and maybe as a child, I just thought like, yeah, when you're a doctor, those are the people who actually help
Help, yeah.
or who can actually impact or do something good that could actually be seen.
Mm.
But as I'm growing, I know that you don't only help people by doing that. You can help people just with a kind word or just with a simple action. So yeah, so it is still in the same context, but not more in different practicing
Areas.
manners. Yeah, I can put it that way.
Okay.
So I'm still a doctor in my own way.
Okay. That's amazing. That's amazing. I love that. I love that. So the profession itself doesn't make you, as in, still help people. It's just like an
Yeah.
avenue in which you can help more people. But you are still, you still have that heart to help. You still have that heart to help
Yeah.
women and people in general. Okay. I love that. I love that. So do you think it is important for people to find their purpose? So, for example, let me kind of just elaborate. Some people feel like they work better when they have a goal, when they have an idea of where they're going, and then there's some people who feel like the idea of purpose can weigh someone down. So, do you think it is good to have an idea, to know where your purpose is?
I would say it is very important to know your purpose and to work towards that direction. Because I don't know what somebody would call a goal, to be honest. And then maybe some people call purpose goals or ideas goal or purpose. But I can say a goal could always fall into a purpose and an idea could always fall into a purpose. And for me, even a simple business idea could be a God's gift to you or like like for me, like when you have like a business idea or you have like a charity idea or whatever idea you have in mind, for me it doesn't just come from you.
Yeah.
I don't know if you understand what I mean. It doesn't just come from you. It is what you do with that idea that was given into your heart that matters. Because yeah, maybe you would say, okay, I have this goal that I want to achieve, and you just kind of just focus on that.
Okay.
But are you happy when you're doing it? Are you having a peace of mind when you're doing it? Because I think it's all about the kind of peace, the state of mind you are. Because you could actually have a goal, and when you get that goal, you're still not happy, you're still not satisfied.
Yes.
And I think that's where the difference come in, like if it is a personal goal or if it is a God-given goal that you're trying to fulfill. Because if you're trying to fulfill a goal or what I call a purpose, which is God's which is something that was given to you by God, by the end of it, you will be satisfied. You will just have this inner peace that you are doing the right thing. But if it's just something personal, you will just have this urge for more, and like you will just be searching, like you will just be constantly searching and don't even know what you're actually searching.
Wow.
Because there's just this thing that is missing that you can't actually put your finger on. And that thing that most people don't usually put their finger on is just God's presence and God's guidance. So I believe that if you are doing something in your purpose, which is God's given, you will know exactly that, okay, if this is the end of it and if there's the next step, God will guide you and you will just have this inner peace.
I think that is amazing. Honestly, I think that is, and it's beautifully explained as well. Because it is true, there are things that we chase and it still doesn't satisfy. For example, money, women, men, pleasures. These things that we feel like we want, and we think will satisfy us, in the end, doesn't satisfy us. But then there are other things we can chase that can bring that satisfaction. For example, loving your neighbor. For example, helping someone on the street. A lot of the times when you don't get paid for these things, it's just the feeling that I've done something nice, I've helped someone, I've loved someone. Especially these things are usually the ones that are God given, like you explained, because it's not about you, it's how you help others. It's how you present yourself within the community. I think that is beautiful. I think that is amazing. Thank you, Priscille. Woo. Woo. Okay, so let's go back to you now. Do you feel like there was an age or there was a time when you honed in and you felt like, okay, cool, I feel like I'm here to not just help people, but help women specifically, and maybe help them within their confidence and their beauty and stuff like that? Because the question comes up in which some people feel like maybe I need to know my purpose at a young age. Or if I get too old and I don't know my purpose, then am I being useless? Have I wasted all this time? Do you understand? So maybe just give people an idea of when you found out and when you started walking in your purpose.
Well, presently I'm 29 years old.
Jeez! Looking fine as usual.
And still very, I know I look like I'm 16, but you don't need to tell me.
16? Yeah. You look like 14, girl. 14.
And the question of age, I would say there is no age, but there is also an age. Let me try to elaborate this. Like if we go into the Bible, we will see that it's at the age of 30 that Jesus actually started like
his ministry.
Working in he actually started his mission.
Okay.
What actually happened during before he got 30? He was just
working as a carpenter,
performing every single act that was just bringing him towards that direction, the baptism and calling of there was the baptism, there were the different miracles that he was performing and all the rest. But
when he would be speaking in the temple,
we actually see Jesus starting his mission at 30. So for me, there is an age which is 30.
Okay.
That we grow into it, and I believe that it is not just about the age 30. It is because at 30 you are at that point of maturity. That you are having more clearer ideas and a better understanding and wisdom and everything. But I'm not saying that younger people can know their purpose younger and know exactly what they want to do. It can happen, but I believe that at that age of 30, most people already had thousands of signs of what their mission on earth is. Okay. So, and then you can work towards it or you can just reject it. Okay. So, for me, there is an age, and also there is not an age. It could be that at that age or even before that age, you rejected it, and then you decided to turn back to God. Like one of my favorite person in this is Steve Harvey, because he had lived he had all these jobs and everything, but he was not satisfied until he decided to be a comedian. And then he said it was at the moment when he reconnected with God that the doors opened. And there are thousands of people who give that testimony that at the moment they reconnected with God, that is people who are much older, that were doing something before, and then it wasn't just working, and then they just got into all these disasters and everything. And I'm also one of them. So
okay, so there was a time when you weren't walking in your purpose.
The time when I actually discovered what it was, I would say it was 2 years ago. Okay. And it got to the point where I was I would even say I was even depressed. I fell into depression. And it was a period where I kind of disconnected with God. And when I reconnected, everything just enlightened. And then I just sat down and tried to make a resume of where I come from. Like, try to sit down and see every single step, every single occasion, every single prayer. I mean, you are even in my prayer, so
Really?
don't just be sitting
Amen.
there.
Amen.
You guys were in my prayers. I prayed, Papa God, I want good friends. So the ones I've been having, they are not good. Oh. And then the next day, I met you in a lab. And for me,
The next day, really?
That's why I say everything happens for a reason at a specific time, and God's timing is the best. So I realized that I was walking away from God's path, and then I came back and then I say, Papa God, I don't know what has happened to me. Oh, please take me back. And
man, okay.
at that time, I would say during that period, I really, how can I say, I put myself in the shoes of people who were in that situation where I was, like in that bubble where I was. Although I had been connecting with people like homeless people or people who are going through certain traumas, me living it actually gave me more connection of trying to feel how those people felt. And it just clicked. It just clicked like, Priscille, do you know what this is it? This making people feeling better than the way you met them is just as important as eating food. Like trying to make somebody happy every day is so important for me. Yeah. So yeah. 2 years ago, and then I'm working towards it, and I might not be there yet. And with a friend, Sandy, we also opened an Instagram page called Women of Value, where we try to motivate people, women especially, and try to remind them how valuable or how important they are. Yeah.
Women of Value.
Yeah, Women of Value.
Women of Value.
Femme de valeur.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Honestly, I think you guys are doing great work. Thank you so much for that. So, I mean, there's kind of a lot, you said in that answer. There was a time when you said you felt like you weren't walking in your purpose, and what you had to do was kind of reconnect back to God. So I guess my question now is, how much has your faith impacted your purpose, your work with God? Because it seems like it's amazing. It's like it's immense, or it's like inseparable. Do you understand? You can't. Yeah. But please go ahead.
You can't separate it.
Wow. Okay.
It's not possible. It is not possible, and it is not. It is simply because of man's nature.
Okay.
Man is so selfish. Like the human heart is so wicked and selfish. So if you're doing it on your own, knowing that this stuff that I am doing, I built it from scratch. At a certain point, even the kindest person can become the worst person on earth. So I believe there is no way it is disconnected, because by the time you disconnect it from God, you're just becoming that selfish human being, and it is just more going to be like profit or
self-serving. It's about me. It's about self.
What is the word? Like people praising you, things like that.
Okay.
Like you'll be seeking for that.
You want
like
the fame.
People praising you, people seeing what you're
adoration.
doing, people seeing your hand doing, and saying, "Oh, this is good." Like just seeking people's approval. Well, when you are still connected with God, and whatever somebody is saying, you are just going to give that thanks to God and praise to God, and you are just going to have your foot like set on ground.
Okay.
Instead of be hanging on the air, and then, because by the time all these things stop, like people stop giving you all these approvals or all these praises, you can fall into depression, or you might absolutely want all this to happen again, and you might even do things that doesn't even make sense.
Wow, just to
So
get the praise and the adoration and the.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
praise and adoration from human beings. Yeah.
Mm.
By the time you disconnect that, you'll get to a point where that is what you'll be seeking instead of focusing on the why you actually started doing that stuff.
Priscille, wow. Honestly, so there was this point that you made in which you said the innate state of man, just the natural state of man, is self-serving. It's just about me. I want me, 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 me.
Yeah.
So you're saying your faith is what brings you from a position of thinking simply about yourself, but to thinking about more than just yourself, thinking about other people.
Yeah.
And if you try and disconnect that and you say, no, God, I can do it myself, you're just going to go back to serving yourself, doing whatever it is
Yeah.
you're doing simply to praise your name, to get all the money, to get all the,
Mm-hmm.
or simply to, to benefit you.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Let's just see, for example, like the temptation of Jesus in the desert. Like, why will Satan, like the last temptation of Jesus, like this is one of the things that I kind of try to focus on whenever I am kind of trying to like, I want more money, or I don't know, like when my thoughts are kind of diversing.
Okay.
And then I just think about this last temptation that Satan gave, like where he took Jesus at the top, and then he showed him he showed him all the world and everything, and just say, bow before me, and then I will give you all this. And Jesus rejected it. Like that is, I would say, that is just Satan showing the weakness of man. Man loves praise, man loves food, man loves to show that I can do this. So those are just the different temptations the devil gave to Jesus. Like, and that is why Jesus was at the state of praying, because he needed God's strength to actually overcome all this temptation, because human flesh cannot actually resist all of that. You can't resist food, you can't resist human praise, you can't resist word and everything. And if you're not connected to God, you can easily fall amongst all these three stops that I just named.
Wow.
So yeah.
That's amazing. That is deep. Woo! Priscille Polla.
Woo! You cannot disconnect.
That is amazing. Thank you. I mean, that's a different perspective. Like I necessarily didn't think of it that way, but I mean, it definitely makes sense to me anyway. I feel like I understand, what you're trying to say. So in your journey thus far, do you feel like you've had influences or like you've had role models that you've looked at and you felt like, okay, maybe I can kind of pattern my life alongside this person, or maybe this person has spoken something or said something that really, really motivated me? Like, have you had that along the line?
Yeah, I've had a lot of role models. So this is my life. My first role model, my mom. That woman.
Wow.
My first role model is my mom. I don't know, like, no matter hard or how desperate a situation is, she will always thank God for it. She will be like, do you know what? After the rain, there will be the sun. If this is happening, that means God has a plan after this. And if this is what is happening presently, no matter how bad it is, there should be a reason why this is happening, or He is trying to strengthen us based on what is coming next. So just having that a perspective of mine, like the way she's always seeing things, actually helped me to not see a negative event or a bad event as actually being a bad event, but actually seeing the positive side of it and just praying like, God, if this is happening and there's something coming ahead, just prepare me. And it has always been the case. Like, I am a living testimony of all these events.
Wow. Amazing.
And another role model, like I said, is Steve Harvey.
Okay.
And why is he one of my models? Like, I would never judge somebody based on his lifestyle, because we all have our
Oh yeah.
privacy and
Yes.
different things we did in
Yes.
life and
We all
everything.
have a past.
But what amazed me the most about him is that he speaks his faith. Like, whether it's on a show or on during a comedy or anything, he will always find a second to always thank God and praise Him.
Oh wow.
And he will always say, like, I don't know if you're Christian or not, and if you are non-Christian and this is another type of things you like to listen, I am sorry, this show is not for you. So he doesn't bother whether you are an additional subscriber or not. What he knows is that no matter what, he's always going to put God first, even on his shows. Wow. And that actually calls me, like, how much am I speaking my faith out? Like, how much am I even expressing it? Like, this is somebody who is a multi-millionaire in dollars, and he's not ashamed of expressing it, because he always says it, like, when I was buying my land, I prayed God and then he gave it to me. When I was homeless, he gave me a home. When he was like, whenever, like, every single occasion is just an occasion for him to just remind himself. It's just like he got to this point of life where he's having so much wealth that he still wants to stand on the ground. And he knows that the only way he can do that is always reminding himself and reminding the public that this is not me. What I am today is not because of me, but it's because I reconnected with God, and up to date, he's still with me. So that is why he's one of my role models. Like, yeah, those two are my two main role models.
Okay. I thought you were going to say me, but I mean, it's okay.
My brother.
I'm joking.
You're my role model.
Sure.
Don't worry. You're on the line.
I'm somewhere at the back. Okay.
Yeah, there's so many, like, so many, but those two are like the highlights of my day.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now for the younger generation, for I guess the people who a lot of the times it's what they see that inspires them, and a lot of the times it's hard for them to see the struggle, because we in this world love to elevate. Oh, you're there already, okay, we'll put you there. Oh, you're a celebrity. Oh, you're really good. Even though you're 5 years, 10 years, even though you're 20, you don't really have to have a lot of struggle. As long as you have a talent, or you skill, or you have a lot of money, then okay, we're just gonna give you that. So I guess my question is, do you think the amount of money you have means that you are fulfilling purpose? A lot of money means you are definitely fulfilling purpose, and not having a lot of money means you're not fulfilling purpose. Do you think they're synonymous?
No, I don't think so. I definitely don't think money is like you're fulfilling your purpose.
Okay.
There are people who have a lot of money and they are not happy. There are people who have no money and then they are happy.
Okay.
There are people who will sell everything they have to actually do charity, and that makes them happy. So for me, the amount of money you have doesn't mean you're fulfilling your purpose. And it also depends, because I read a story, like a real story, where there was this man who owned a business.
Okay.
And you know, like when you're having like a kind of amount of money, and then you decide to give your tithes to the church, and then you give 10%.
Okay.
This man on the other side prayed God and said he will give 90% and he will live on 10%.
Wow, okay. That's faith.
And from the day he started giving the 90%, because he was like, why would I be the one taking 90% and giving 10% to God? Why he is the one actually making everything work?
True.
And he was just saying that from the moment he gave this 90% to God, he just kept flourishing, because that 90% he was using it in giving, like I'm forgetting the name of the guy. He was using it in helping the hungry,
Okay.
building homes for homeless, like for different charity stuffs.
Mm.
So it was so that 90% was just for charity, and he was living on
Okay. On
10%.
10%.
So God just gave him more because he wanted to help more people. So it also
It wasn't
depends. There are
about
some
him.
people that read your word is
Mm.
just at the level at which they are using that word to do the work of God.
Okay. Wow.
So yeah.
Wow. Okay.
But I would not define word as being like you're working in your purpose. For some people, yes. For some people, no. If you're not happy with the word, that means it's not in your purpose.
Okay. Ah. So there's some.
Inner peace. Like that's why I focus on inner peace, because there's so many times God reminds us about this, His peace. Like if you're not having this inner peace, I don't think you're working in your purpose with. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So for those people who, I guess, are struggling to find what their purpose is, could you maybe point out two or three things that you can use to find out? So like a radar that you can use to like, okay, I think some of these things may help you, find your purpose. Maybe you used some of these or maybe you didn't. I don't know. But, maybe just some advice for those people who are still struggling to find their purpose.
Yeah. About me, for example, I would say reading the Bible a lot.
Okay.
And just sitting and try to see what is it that you do with ease.
Okay.
Yeah, what is this thing that people always compliment you? Not like you're beautiful. Yes, some people like they can use the beauty in the purpose of God, right?
Okay.
Some people can use the people.
So even beauty, even models.
You can use
Okay.
every single thing that you are owning for the purpose of God,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
But yeah, this thing that is just like there are certain comments people will keep bringing back, like women of faith, pastor, whenever you're speaking, you just bring this enlightenment. I like to have discussions with you,
because you encourage me.
I love when you're doing this, like things that you do with ease that you don't even need to think about it, and you just do it perfectly, right? That could be one. The second thing is like just praying, because it's something hard. Sometimes you can miss it, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Sometimes you can miss it, or you can just keep praying. Like if you miss it, you would know that's something for sure. There's just this inner peace. And secondly,
sorry, are you saying if you miss your purpose?
It will be hard. It will be hard. It could be something that you don't want to do, that you really don't want to do.
Okay.
Like we have examples in the Bible, right?
Okay.
Who is this guy that God sent him to go on?
Jonah.
Was it Elisha? No, it wasn't Elisha. The one that the fish swallowed.
Jonah, yeah.
Jonah, yeah. Like God sent him and then he didn't want to do it. But God will always bring you back on the path, no matter what. And you will know at a certain point, like if you keep praying and then if you're not disconnecting, like if you stay connected with God, He will definitely show you. And if you ask, like you need to ask. You need to want to do it. Because God will not give you this work and then you don't want to do it. Or maybe He will give it to you and it will be a constant reminder. I would say that's in my case, for example. I had this call and I was just lazy and procrastinating on doing it and procrastinating. And then every single time it would just come back and come back and come back. And then I would just feel like I had a stone in my belly. Like I would feel so bad, and then I would just say, "Oh, Papa God, I am sorry, I've not been doing this. So please, forgive me." And then there is this verse that I read. It says, "When you vow a vow to God, do not delay paying it. For he has no pleasure in fools. Pay what you vow. I
Mm.
think it's Ecclesiastes 5 verse 4.
Okay.
Like, yeah, and when you have your purpose and when you know what it is, and then you pray to God and you say, okay, I'm going to do it, and then you don't do it, it would just be like you feel like it is a burden when you're not doing it, right? Because you just have this constant reminder, and then you will feel bad because
you're supposed to be doing
you
something.
said
You're
you're
supposed to be
going to
doing
do
something,
it, and you're still not doing it. That means you're a bad servant, right? And some people, they just don't care. But in my case, I actually, like, it really made me feel bad when I was not doing it, because it's a vow. Like, if you're unable to do small things, what is it that you'll be able to do tomorrow?
Wow, that is deep. That is deep.
So I think, like, yeah, there are signs that will always show, like, how do you feel about this thing that is constantly coming back into your mind? Because it's not you that is thinking, it's just the Holy Spirit that is constantly saying, my sister, oh, this thing, oh, we've given you the work, you're not doing it.
You're not doing it. What's going on?
Never this thing, never giving it to you, you're not doing it. It would constantly come back to you. It would just constantly come back until you do it. Yeah.
Wow. Because, honestly, wow. So, let me give, like, maybe the final question to kind of, because you've pretty much touched on it. I was going to say, so it is possible for you to not want to walk in your purpose. So you could be created for to fulfill a need, maybe in this season or that. But you could actively say, I do not want to do this. I want to do something else. But then you're saying, for those people who do that, the chances are they will not be happy, or they will not have this feeling of fulfillment. Because 9 out of 10 times, they're doing whatever it is they're doing for themselves.
Yeah.
Wow. Is there a way for them to come back?
Yeah, there's always a way to come back. But God is a loving God. Like, this work is for you. But there is also something, like, if you don't do it, or if you delay, right? I am actually sad that I don't know where I put that. Like, there is this, it's actually one of the verses in the Bible. I am kind of forgetting, but I will just say it randomly. But it was like, you have this work that God has given to you, but you delay in doing it, right? Why delaying in doing it? He can take it away from you, right?
Okay.
But when taking it away from you, he will put you in charge of training the next person he is supposed to do.
Wow.
Like, I read that and I was like, that is even more work.
Wow. So even if you don't want to do it, he's likely
somewhere, like, that's what I was looking in the. I read it. Wait, which verse was it? I will look for it and then I'll send it to you. It is actually stated, like, you are given this work to do, and if you don't do it, or if you don't work in your purpose and everything, and then you delay, it will be taken away from you, and you will be in charge of training the next person who is going to fulfill that work that you were supposed to do.
Okay. Yes. So, just answering that question of, do you feel like you can be restored to your purpose? I mean, you've obviously said yes. God is a forgiving God. He can definitely bring you back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
Amen. Thank you very much for that, Priscille. Honestly, this has been so eye-opening. I mean, there's a lot of like new.
My pleasure.
New ideas that I didn't see it, but I honestly appreciate your perspective. Thank you again. Thank you for being on the show, Priscille. I really appreciate you. Hopefully, we can hear more about the women of virtue in future, and be beautiful with Priscille.
Yeah.
That's the business, right?
Yeah, be beautiful with Priscille. YouTube is just Priscille Polla. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you again for being with us.
Thank you. And yeah, anytime I am here. So.
Hey guys, thank you for watching another episode on Just Everyday People. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something, That really is the aim around here. Please, if you have any comments, leave them down below. Please like the video, share. Let's start a conversation between you, your friends, your group, your family, younger people who you feel may actually need some of these things. Even people who you feel are working, walking, but are not actually fulfilling purpose. Please share this with them. It may help change a life. Thank you guys again for watching. God bless you.